Welcome. I'm Janelle Genstad, Director of Linked Early Modern Drama Online at the University of Victoria. This is the second LEMDO documentation video in the LEMDO documentation series. In the last video, we showed you the repository and had you check out a local copy to your own computer. This video shows you how to update your local copy at the beginning of each new work session, how to work on your files in Oxygen, and how to commit your work throughout and at the end of your work session. The first thing you need to do at the beginning of each new work session is update your local copy of the repository. You need to update your local copy because other people may have been working on the files since your last work session. For example, your anthology lead may have done some work on your file. Your anthology lead probably won't work on your file without your knowledge, but it's still a good idea to do an SVN update at the beginning of each work session. The LEMDO team at UVic may have opened up your file, corrected an invalidity in your file, or we might have done a programmatic change across every file in the repository. If we correct an invalidity in your file, we'll tell you so that you can learn. In the latter case, you'll have received an email saying that we're making changes across the site and asking you to stay out of the repository for a short period of time. Even if you haven't had such a message, always update the repo, your local copy of the repo at the beginning of every new work session. The way you update your local copy is to go to your command window or your terminal at the beginning of your work session. When you open it up, it will probably tell you that you're in your own user folder. You need to navigate to the location on your computer where you checked out the local copy. You do that by typing CD for change directory, followed by a space, and then the name of the folder where you checked out your local copy. I called my local copy LEMDO, but you may have called it something else. Once you've typed CD space LEMDO, or the name of your local copy, hit enter. And now you can do an SVN up using a subversion command. I'm going to type SVN to tell the terminal that I'd like to use an SVN command, and I'm going to type the word up for update. SVN space up, and then enter. Again, you will see files scrolling across your screen as you did when you first checked out the repository. You probably won't see as many files flashing past your eyes because only some of the files have been updated since my last work session on LEMDO. And you could see at a glance what it is that has been changed on your local copy. And so we have added a file to your local copy, and we have updated some other copies. A for add, U for update. I now have revision 4919 of the LEMDO project checked out to my computer. I'm ready to work in Oxygen now. Once you have updated your local copy of the LEMDO project, you're now ready to work on your files in Oxygen. First of all, open up your Oxygen application. Once you are in the Oxygen application, navigate to the project menu. Go to the second item on the menu, which is Open Project. And now you need to find on your computer the LEMDO project file. An XML project file always has the extension XPR. You want to open lemdo-all.xpr. It's very important that you not open up the data folder and try to open a file directly from here. If you do that, you won't have full access to all of the tools that we've built to help you edit your play. Always open that XPR file before you do anything else. I'm going to click that file and open it. And you'll see that I've now opened the entire LEMDO project. From here, I can now navigate to the data folder, to the texts folder within the data folder, and I can find my own edition. I will demonstrate using my own edition of the Merchant of Venice. As we explained in our first video, every edition portfolio contains 4 directories. One is for the apparatus, annotation and collation files. One is for the critical pair texts. As you can see, I haven't written very much in the repository yet, but I have started writing my encoding note. The main folder contains all of the texts of the play, and the supplementary folder, which is currently empty, will eventually contain some supplementary texts. I will open up my modern file. I won't make many changes today, but I'll make enough that I can show you what it means to commit my changes to the repository. When you open up your modern text, you will see a number of things. The file is divided into 2 big containers. The first container is the TEI header. I'm going to just minimize that for now, which you can do by clicking on these triangles on the left side of your window. The second big container in my file is text. This is where the body of my edition is going to live, the modern text thereof. So I will make a few changes. We've recently decided that at LEMDO we want to use the specific wording 1.1 rather than Act 1, Scene 1 for our head elements. So I will change that. And you can see that there's a little asterisk now at the top of my file name. That means that I have not saved my file. I have unsaved changes. I will save my file. And now I will validate it. You see this red check mark up here? That allows you to validate your file. You can click on that, or you can press Control-Shift-V on a Windows machine. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can see the message from Oxygen, validation in progress. Validation successful. That means that my file complies with the rules of the LEMDO schema as it currently stands. The purpose of this video is to show you how to commit your files. So I won't spend much time showing you how to use Oxygen. That will happen in a subsequent video. Now that I've made some changes to my modern text of Merchant of Venice, I want to commit my local copy back to the centralized repository at the University of Victoria so that it is safe and so that anybody else who might work on my file has the most up-to-date copy of the file. To do that, I go back to my terminal. I'm still in LEMDO. So now what I want to do is an SVN commit. I type SVN to tell the terminal that I want to use one of the subversion commands, and I type commit. That is the subversion command to send anything that is new in my local copy of the repository to the centralized repository at the University of Victoria. SVN space commit, but I don't hit enter yet. I need to add a message to my commit to tell the folks at UVic what I have done. So I type -M for message, a space, quotation marks, and now I write a message. The more detailed you can make this message, the better. We rely on these messages in order to understand why something might have gone wrong in the build of the LEMDO site. A good commit message will help us troubleshoot if things go wrong. So I need say only that I made a minor change to emd nv_m.xml. You don't even have to put the file name in. I always do as a general rule. Once I have typed the command svn commit and added a commit message to it, now I can hit enter. You can see from the terminal exactly what it is that you've done. So my screen says sending, and it gives the full path of the file that I've just sent to UVic. Data://mv/main/emd_m.xml. It's transmitted the data, and now the UVic copy of the repository is at revision 4920. Every time I or anybody else commits to the repository, the revision number will increase by 1. Let's go through this one more time. It's so important that I'd like to show you again. I've made a few more changes to my Merchant of Venice modern file. Once again, I am going to save my file, and now I am going to validate my file. I can do that either by checking the red check mark or by hitting Control-Shift-V. Validation successful. Now I can feel confident about committing my file to the repo, knowing that it complies with all the rules in the LEMDO schema. I go back to my terminal window. Again, I do an SVN commit. This time I'll give a more detailed message. I changed the head elements in emd nv_m.xml. I hit enter, and you can see that I have sent my copy of the file to the central repository. And it says that I've committed revision 4922. So if I do an SVN up, I can see at a glance all of the changes that have taken place in the repository. Some of the LEMDO RAs are working on Henry V right now, on Richard III, on the elder brother, and on the personography. So all of those files were different in the centralized repository than they were in my local copy. So please write this on a Post-it note and put it on the side of your computer. SVN up, SVN commit, SVN up, SVN commit. That should be the heartbeat of your day when you're working on a LEMDO file. Every hour, SVN up and SVN commit, SVN up, SVN commit. If you do get a message in your terminal that your file is in conflict with the file at UVic, let me know right away. You can email me at lemdo@uvic.ca. You can email the LEMDO project manager, Kate LeBaire, at lemdopm@uvic.ca, or you can email the LEMDO Tech account, lemdotech@uvic.ca. We will help you resolve the conflict and get you back to work as soon as possible.